Doug, thanks so much for joining us. High school football was able to finish. It's been a challenge, obviously, dealing with COVID-19. What were the lessons learned by the Ohio High School Athletic Association?
Well, I think the lesson we learned is you got to be flexible during this time. And, we changed so many things. And Bo Rugg, who runs as our coordinator for football, and really all of our fall sports folks did a fantastic job because uh, when football ended, that meant every one of our fall sports, our athletes had a chance to compete for a state championship. And so, but some, I think some other things that we learned, and you always look at and a challenge what opportunities are out there. And so we're going to be talking about that moving forward. We had a lot more teams in our playoffs and had a lot of games throughout the state that maybe a 10 seed beat a 2 seed and things like that. Somebody who may not have had that playoff experience had that opportunity. And certainly, we're not ready to make a decision that way and on any type of expansion in our football or that stuff. That's things we talk to our coaches associations about and our board here so we'll sit down and debrief and what did we learn in the fall and what can we change to make it a great experience for kids and because that's what it's all about and we'll continue to do that.
Did you breathe a sigh of relief? Because I wasn't sure when you guys announced that you were going to go with a 6-game season and every team in the playoffs. I wasn't sure you guys were going to be able to finish, but you did finish.
Yeah, with this virus, Dom, you tell people, things change daily, but with this virus, by golly, they change every minute. It seems like we're always juggling something around. And with respect to our member schools who are doing the same thing, I couldn't imagine being a coach, an athletic administrator, a principal, or a superintendent right now in a school system because you've got a lot more than sports to deal with. And the great thing for us, I think, this fall was that having been a superintendent last spring in Newark when April and May, when you had to put things over your baskets so kids wouldn't come on your property and play and those type of things, and then June, seeing them come back on and with safety restrictions and things like that. But the one thing, it is so vital, not just sports, the marching band, the drama department, the ROTCs, all those type of things. It's just so vital to the mental health and wellness of a teenager that it was just, I think that's the big thing I take away is that we are able to keep kids around good influence in their lives, like our coaches and able, if you think about communities, had something to talk about as they advance through the playoffs and those type of things. And during these times, I think all of that was so very important.
You mentioned having to be flexible. Those games were all supposed to be played at the Fortress in Obetz, and then all of a sudden you get the health order, and you guys had to scramble. What was that like getting to Massillon?
Well, I'll tell you, we're so fortunate because the unfortunate thing happened. It's a shame that a health department in a county has to put something like that out, but we understand with the rising numbers. And so we got that and communicated with the health department and Obetz, and we just thank the folks at Obetz so much because we did our cross country there. We had Division I state championship. They put on a great show there for kids. But the unfortunate thing was we couldn't chance that. And Nate Moore, the athletic director and football coach at Massillon, had given Bo Rugg a call and we talked about and offered for us to come up there and understand this with Massillon. They had everything put away for the winter. So in a 12-hour period, they had everything out. Back out and a staff there, and they just did a tremendous job. And so I thank their superintendent and their board and all their folks there. And there's just so many moving parts. Think about this, Dom. Spectrum had everything set up at Obetz on the Friday before, left things set up, got a call Thursday morning, we're moving to Massillon, and they had their crew move stuff and covered the first game at 1:15 on Friday. So all of those folks that it took to do this, the teams, the communities that changed, and they just wanted a chance to compete. And we heard this last year. I remember the coaches at Newark telling me our girls won a regional final on Friday night and didn't get the opportunity to play in the Final Four the next week. So I saw that on our kids and stuff, and talked to a lot of coaches that said, hey, we get to that point, we'll play it on a playground if we have to. So we didn't have one school that really was aggravated or anything. Everybody kind of understands. And again, Obetz is a great place, but Massillon is certainly not a second prize with their facilities and the way their people put on a show up there. So we're just very fortunate.
Last thing on football, and I don't expect you to give me an answer, but I've run into quite a few high school coaches that really like the format of every team making the playoffs, and it was kind of fun because we see it in basketball where a Cinderella story or whatever. Is that something you think you guys will discuss and maybe look at the option of having that?
Absolutely. We're open to discuss anything. And again, it'll go out with our coaches association, get feedback from our coaches, our athletic administrators, our principals, our superintendents in the state, and have the discussion with them about what did we learn this fall, what opportunities can we advance on because of this virus. And Dom, you liken it to, as a former superintendent, I would tell you that there should never be another snow day in the state of Ohio, because now we're all equipped to just learn at home day when there's four inches of snow and slippery roads. And that's the opportunity that the schools got out of that challenge. And so for us, what does that mean? What opportunities are out there? We're going to have those discussions.
Obviously, we now move to winter sports. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, and it will be a work in progress, won't it?
It sure will. The governor came out last Tuesday and said, if you're comfortable moving forward with winter sports, then feel free to do so. But he put in a suggestion and that we severely limit our fans to maybe parents only, and not have that 15% that we were planning on having in the gym, and parents of the athletes only. And I would just tell you that we're encouraging our folks out there to follow the governor's suggestions so our students can continue to compete. That was our message this fall. Every week we just want to keep kids competing. We want to keep things moving forward. And to do that, you need to follow the health orders that the governor has put in place, and the Department of Health. And we just thank the governor, and in particular, our communication, a lot of it's through Lieutenant Governor Houston, who's a big proponent of wellness of our youth, and recognizes the fact that they need to be involved. They need to be around their peers, and they need to be around our good influences that are coaching them. So we thank the governor and lieutenant governor for that.
So the bottom line is, with the winter sports, it's going to be kind of like with football. If you want to pause, you pause with no penalty, and that's going to be the same way with all the winter sports, correct?
Absolutely. We want it to be a local decision, and pausing could mean, a lot of schools are giving us feedback that quarantine is an issue for them. And so you might play 3 games and then your team may have to quarantine for a couple weeks. And that's just the virus. And so, I heard something the other day on the radio that March Madness may become May Madness in college basketball. And maybe you only play 12 games before a tournament, and maybe you get 17, or maybe you only get 8. I think the situation is going to dictate that for each school.
So the bottom line is, it's going to be a work in progress, and to look too far in the future, you really can't, can you?
No. I mean, I always do this with the virus. I sit and I look, and here we are sitting. December's right here, and if you say what's going to happen February 1st, 2 months away, look back 2 months and say, did you know October 1st that we would be where we're at right here, right now? Our football play, our fall sports would be complete, those kind of things. And just things change so much. So when you're looking in the future to this, I know our folks in the office, they're great administrators, and we are planning the plan, the backup plan, and the backup plan to the plan to give our students that opportunity. So, we're confident something positive will happen.
So the last thing for the parents out there watching this, the goal is for there to be winter sports and to come to some kind of conclusion. That's what you want to see happen.
Absolutely. The virus will dictate that. And so we're hoping, as everybody else, that after the holidays, the vaccines get out there, and we do what the governor asked us to do right now as a state, and not all related to athletics.